Hi everyone, Kaary here. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are all doing great today. So today I'm back with another fairy inspired build for you guys. Today we're actually building a pool, and this is something that I've built only once before when we first got it, like the Riviera Retreat kit. I built a pool for my save file in the world of, I think it was San Sequoia. And today I decided that I wanted to build a pool inspired by fairies because I'm really excited about getting fairies in the game. So yeah, I decided to go for something a little bit more magical, using a lot of the ruins that are the debug items from Get Together. Yeah, and we're building today in Henford-on-Bagley, which is the world that we got with the Cottage Living expansion pack, because I really wanted it to feel like it was secluded, like it was a secret, like a secret place. No one knows about this place. It's kind of abandoned somehow. You will see there's a lot of different plants and stuff. And I did play test this build. It took me a while to make it fully functional because I struggled a little bit with some of the items. There's a routing issue with the ruin sometimes. It just clips a little bit. It makes it kind of hard, but the overall shape of this build ends up being exactly the same. I just had to move some tiny things from the inside of this build, but you see now that the build is coming together, and it's going to be quite a simple shape. It's going to be just this square and then another one in front of it, and I really wanted to have the pool in a platform. I mean, this is a foundation, but still I wanted it to be like in a upper level and not everything on the same level. So I ended up really liking this build. I had a lot of fun with it, and if you follow me on Instagram and TikTok, you will see a video of me playtesting this build a little bit with some fairies that I created. Of course, we still don't have the enchanted by nature expansion pack, so we cannot make fairies in the game, but we do have this costume from this Spooky Stuff pack that it's a fairy costume. We've had it for so many years now, so I decided to create my own fairies and playtest this build, and I actually had a lot of fun with it. I really hope you can guys go and check it out if you want. And let's talk a little bit about this build, because the shape, as I said, is really simple. I didn't have any proper walls in this build, so yeah, if it rains everyone's gonna rain, they're gonna be rain on, but I don't think it's such big of a deal because it's for fairies. It's for something that's magical. They wouldn't care about the rain. They don't need to come to the pool in the rain anyways. So this is a community lot. And of course, if you play with this lot as a pool, a lot of different sims will come here. But I don't know, I just really wanted to not create like a park. I've seen a lot of people creating parks for fairies, like secret gardens and stuff like that. I wanted this to feel like a secret garden, or that it was just a pool. Because as I said, I've just built a pool once before, and I have plans on building some other pools in the game. I don't know if it's a community lot that it's too used, like a lot of people use the pool feature in the game. I have no idea. Personally, I almost never make my sims go to different community lots when I play. They basically spend their whole lives in their houses, so I do different stuff in their houses. But I do like building community lots and having different versions of a pool, because it's quite simple. Like having a pool, it doesn't have that many required items, and it's kind of simple to build. So having the chance to build something that felt more magical, more nature inspired and stuff, it was just perfect. I really ended up liking this build quite a lot. Here I'm trying to create a railing for the staircase, but I ended up not using it because I couldn't make it fit properly, like look nice. I've used this item before to create railings, but it wasn't working, so I decided not to use any railings in these stairs. And here I'm creating a wall because I wanted to have like a second level to this build. It's gonna be really tiny. It's just gonna be a balcony, and it's not gonna be functional. It's just for the looks, and I think it ends up looking really cool. It gives a little bit more dimension to this build because it was feeling quite plain in my opinion. So that's why I decided that I wanted to have this second level. Of course, if you have a spellcaster, you can teleport them here, I think, or if you use a cheat, you can still teleport the Sims in here. I'm gonna be adding a wedding arch here on the top level, so maybe you want to have a wedding here. I don't know why would you have a wedding in a pool, but I added some wedding arches here because they looked so beautiful. So yeah, you can definitely come here with your Sims and make them get married if they want, if you want to. But it wouldn't be I mean, it would be quite weird to host a wedding in a pool, I think. I don't know, I would do it. If it looks like this, I would definitely do it. But yeah, we're adding some tiny details here. This I don't know what's the name of this item, but it came with the Castle Estate kit, and I used also the flooring from the Castle Estate kit as well because it just fits perfectly with this build. It just feels just like it was made for this build. So I ended up using a lot of things from that kit, I'm pretty sure, or maybe at least those two. I don't know. I built this a few days ago, and I have some other builds that are ready for me to upload as speed builds. So I have been just trying to manage my time appropriately in order to have builds that have fairies, even though we don't have fairies yet. And I don't know, having more variety of content as well. So one of the things that is a required item in a pool lot is actually a toilet, a sink, and a shower. And I really needed to find a way to create a bathroom that didn't feel like a bathroom, that didn't look modern, that it just didn't feel like a bathroom. And I ended up adding this section here, this kind of bump out here, and I'm gonna be, well, this is gonna have like one wall, I think, like one proper wall, and the rest is all going to be the debug ruin item. And I really tested it, so it functions, and it's gonna have a sink, two showers, and a toilet here, so your Sims can definitely come here and use the bathroom if they need to. And yeah, I think it just helps to give more dimension once again to this build. I really struggled with the door that I was going to use for the bathroom because it's a bathroom. You needed to have like a proper door to it. So yeah, that space there in the door, and that's the only thing that's going to have a wall in here. I'm really sorry about that. It's almost 7 a.m. and I'm doing a voiceover today. That's the same thing that I did with my fairy cottage. For some reason, to voiceovers early in the morning has helped me a lot. I just don't worry too much about taking my time. And yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to mention that it's really early when I'm doing this voiceover. And yeah, we're working on the terrain paint here because I really wanted to have like this really nice texture that felt like, I don't know, like it matches the ruins and stuff. And I loved it. I mean, I'm not so good with terrain paint. I'm gonna be the first one to say it. I really struggle with landscaping and terrain paint, and this build is pretty much landscaping and terrain paint. So it was a challenge for me as well to try and build something like this. That's why I don't usually build parks and stuff, because I do need to use a lot of terrain paint in landscaping, and that's definitely not my forte. So I don't know, I just try my best, and I ended up really liking this, that like the terrain paint and everything that I did in here. Here I was trying to cover all these arches with different rocks, so your Sims would use the front gate to get into the pool instead of going from the sides. At least when I play tested it, my Sims didn't use any of the arches. They went straight through the gate, so that's great. But I'm using a lot of debug rocks, and the ones from Snow Escape, there are these ones that I'm using right now. They just fit so great. I'm impressed. I'm really impressed. I didn't think they would look so good, so I'm really excited about that, because I think they're gonna be really helpful when I'm building similar things once we get the Enchanted by Nature's expansion pack. And now this thing, I saw another simmer build using this debug item from Life and Death, creating a path, and I thought it looked amazing. But because it has a footprint, I decided to create this basement section here and add the item on the basement so your Sims can walk through it without any issues. They can use the stairs, they can do all those things without having any issues with routing issues and stuff. So yeah, it's just a precaution that I decided to take here when it came to this specific item, because I haven't used it before and I saw another simmer use it and I thought it was amazing. It just felt perfect for this build. So we're adding some patches of grass here just to create a little bit more of realism to this build, and adding the mushrooms. I mean, the cottage living debug menu was perfect for this build. I added so many mushrooms, so many patches of grass. It just gave life to this build. It was insane. Of course, we're building in Henford-on-Bagley, but I don't think that because we're building in Henford-on-Bagley, the landscaping was gonna be inspired by Henford-on-Bagley. But I mean, the mushrooms, they just give a different vibe to this build. And we're using vines as well from Jungle Adventure here just to give this a more rundown vibe to this build. A lot of different vines from different packs. I'm using a lot of things from the romantic garden stuff pack. That's something that I forgot to mention in my previous video, because the landscaping, I did do it with the romantic garden stuff pack, and that's a pack that I don't usually use. I don't usually, since we got the debug menu, like I don't use items like plants and landscaping from like in-game items unless they're very, very specific, because they cost money and they make your lots be more expensive. And I think that doesn't make any sense. At least to me, it doesn't make any sense. So that's why I don't usually use the items from the romantic garden stuff pack or any pack in specific when you need to spend money on landscaping. But in this case, there are some items from that pack that they just look perfect and they look so beautiful. I don't think I did landscaping with the romantic stuff pack, the romantic garden stuff pack in this build, but I did use some of the items. And in my previous video, I did do the landscaping with the romantic garden stuff pack. So yeah, I just wanted to mention that because that pack is really beautiful. I do really like it. I think it's very particular, I would say, for a like garden pack. I think it's very, very particular, but I do really like it. It's beautiful. So yeah, and it goes so well with all the fairy vibes and all the event it's not abandoned, but ruined areas and stuff like this. I mean, you can definitely use that pack, and for magical stuff. So this item here that you see me adding right now is for from the romantic garden stuff pack. I'm gonna be adding some fountains as well. And this pergola that we got with the Riviera Retreat kit was the perfect roof that I was trying to find for this build. I saw it, I thought it was perfect, so of course I had to use it. And now we're adding these glowing balls. I don't know what they are actually, from Robo Magic. These are from the debug of Robo Magic, and they just give life to this fountain from Horse Ranch. It ends up looking really cool. I'm adding some familiars here because until we get fairies, I think the best way to create them in Create a Sim is actually making spellcasters. So I thought the orbs from the familiars would just give a different vibe to this build as well. So I added a lot of them. I just cut them off the video because it was too repetitive and the video was already too long, and I didn't want you spend your time watching me doing the same thing over and over again. So that's what I did, but you're gonna see it on the screenshots. It ends up looking so cool. When you play with this build in nighttime, it looks so beautiful. Also, I forgot to mention that I added that sign from high school years. It's supposed to be a high school sign, I'm pretty sure, but I'm gonna be covering it with vines and plants and rocks, and it's gonna look like it's an abandoned sign. Like maybe this was originally a park, or this was originally another type of build, and it had a sign with the name of it. Maybe it has some historical issues, like I don't know, facts about this build or whatever. And with time, it just got covered in plants and vines and rocks and stuff. And it just feels different. I really love it. I have to say it. I really love it. I didn't add any fountains to the pool itself. I decided to keep it clean because it was kind of a small space, even though the pool is quite big. But I was thinking, like, gameplay wise, it would be kind of a struggle if I added too many things to the pool. And I ended up I did add a hot tub here, so you're gonna have a hot tub in this lot as well, and that took a bit of the space of the pool. But I decided not to add any fountains or waterfalls or stuff like that. I just wanted to keep it really simple. And but you can definitely add more if you want. And yeah, I just ended up really having a lot of fun building this pool. You saw me adding all of the things for the bathroom, so yeah, your Sims can definitely come here and use the toilet if they want. And now we're working on the sign, as I mentioned, so we're adding some rugs from Snowy Escape, because Snowy Escape and Cottage Living were the best packs for me to decorate, like doing landscaping and stuff. And these vines from Jungle Adventure, I mean, only adding those, it gives a different vibe to this sign, and I love it. I do really love it. I think it looks amazing, and it's just these tiny little details that I thought I would add that I would have never considered doing before. I mean, when I saw this sign, I said, okay, I'm gonna be using it because it comes in quite a specific swatch. It kind of blends in with the rest of the build, but I didn't want it to feel modern, so adding all those vines and all those rugs, it just helps so much. I loved it. I really love it. And now we're decorating the interior. This build is kind of messy. As you can see me building, I'm going back and forth with landscaping, decorating, adding items and stuff. It's kind of messy because I didn't have any specific inspiration pictures. I didn't Google anything. This just came straight out of my mind. So every time that I saw something, I said, okay, I'm gonna go back and add it. So instead of forgetting about the item that I just had thought of, I decided to add it right away. So that's why you see me adding plants sometimes, and then I'm adding some chairs, and then I'm going back to more rocks and stuff like that. It's not my usual way of building because I do prepare my builds before I record them. So every time that you see me building, the reason why the exterior, specifically the exterior of my builds, comes up so easily is because I already built it. So I always build the exterior of my builds off camera. I take screenshots. I see if everything looks the way that I want it to look. Then I bulldoze it from a lot, and then I start recording based on the screenshots that I took. So that's why the exteriors always come up so easily to me, because I have already struggled with them off camera. But for this build, I decided to go with my gut and not prepare a single thing. So that's why it's a little bit messier than usual. But now we're adding some details, like lighting details to this build. I loved adding those wall lights from, I think they're from what's the name of this pack? Love Struck. I could be mistaken, but they look like fireflies or something like that on the wall. So I thought they felt really natural. And using this rock lamp from the Pastel Pop Kit, I used it in so many parts of this build. I decided to use this one instead of the crystals and stuff like that because it came in different swatches. They light up. So I don't know, I used those items instead of the crystals. I think they look better. I don't know, but I loved it. So you see me adding these items here quite a lot in the windows and other places. And I'm also gonna be adding the lamp from the werewolves game pack. This one, well, the one that I'm adding right now. So this one with the moon and the star, because the star is floating and it moves, like it rotates, and it looks so nice. So yeah, I decided to use this item to give a little bit more of a magical touch to it. and I loved it. I mean, this lamp is beautiful, and every time that I get the chance to use it, I'm definitely gonna be using it. So once we get the Enchanted by Nature expansion pack, you will see that item quite a lot in my builds because I'm gonna be building a lot of magical stuff, I'm pretty sure. Even though I'm not so into occults, like playing with occults, I do love occults. I have said this before, but I almost never play with occults. I mostly play with mermaids, but I almost never play with any other occults. And building for them is really cool. I do really like that, but I don't usually have occults in my game or in my save files. I think I'm gonna be adding them to my gameplay because they're cool. You can do many stuff. They give this variety to the game that you don't have when you play with normal sims. So yeah, I think I'm gonna be adding some occults to my legacy let's plays and stuff. I mean, I don't do let's plays in YouTube. I play for myself. But anyways, I'm adding some more landscaping here, and the tree that you saw me adding, that tree has a massive footprint that I didn't think was gonna make my sims not be able to access the toilet. So I had to rotate it one more time, and I changed it a little bit because I really wanted to use that tree. And I think that one is from Outdoor Retreat or something. I don't know. I actually don't remember exactly which pack it came with, but it has a massive footprint and it's a debug tree. So I have no idea why that happened, but I had to make some changes to that one specific tree so your sims can actually access the bathroom. And now we're creating this area with the hot tub, and I'm gonna be making it a little bit smaller because the pool got really tiny, and even though the hot tubs have a 4x4 footprint, they're 3x3 like in size. So yeah, adding some more touches here with some seating areas and stuff. These benches, I couldn't make my sims use them. I have no idea why, but I couldn't make them use them, so I decided to keep them anyways because they look nice and they give a different vibe to this build. And I added a kiddie pool as well. But yeah, that's gonna be pretty much it for this build. I really hope you guys liked it. If you did, please remember to like this video, also comment and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and also follow me on social media. The links are all in the description down below, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Enjoy the screenshots. Goodbye.